Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
I still have questions about that.
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any...
Goodbye.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
You still want more from Christina?
When we spent the night together, my wallet went missing.
Are you calling me a thief? I don't have your stupid wallet.
I know you. You're a nice girl. Can't we solve this amicably?
No, I don't think so. And if you think you know me just because we shared the bed together, you're just a lousy and arrogant journalist.
Good evening, Kristen.
Change your...
Did you steal Clayton Darby's wallet?
Of course I stole it. But I never thought he would come back to...
Why did you do it? He seems to trust you.
For a time I thought he was different from other men. In the end, he just wanted to sleep with me. Same as the others.
Perhaps Clayton is different. Maybe you two should talk. A conversation couldn't hurt.
I know what I am and what people call me. I sleep with men for money. If I can accept that, why can't he? No. My future is with the ones I love, not with Clayton Darby.
The ones you love? The money you stole is not for you, then?
My brother is still in our hometown in Romania. I am the only one who can buy him a ticket to England.
Tell me, Christina, is it worth risking your health and your life for your brother's safety?
He's the only family I have left. I had to leave.
I understand your concern. I spent many months away from my family when I served on the front line in France.
Every time I write to him, I fear I won't receive an answer. It kills me to know he is still there.
England is perhaps not the best place in the world to live at the present time. Are you certain it's worth the sacrifice?
You think you know it all because you fought in the war. But my brother is no soldier.
I know. We all understand the risks to soldiers, but we don't necessarily recognize the civilian casualties caused by these conflicts.
Yes. Wars are decided by rich men who will never take the risk of being shot, raped, or maimed.
Does your brother know what you do to...
Don't be simple, of course not. And he must never know. Everything will be different once he is...
Goodbye, miss.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help?
Do you know that Christina is hoping to pay for her brother to travel to England in the near future?
I see. No, she didn't tell me that. But that explains many things.
Do you believe she will ever see her brother again?
As long as the war rages in Europe, I'm afraid her chances of seeing her brother again are slim to none.
Tell me, Clayton, do you really think this young woman stole your wallet?
Christina? Yes. I recently met her. A nice girl, despite her questionable conduct.
How exactly did you meet?
During my investigation, I offered my hotel room to her to rest and get away from the street.
And what happened?
The next morning, my wallet and my watch had disappeared. I suppose that's what you get for being a good Samaritan.
If you are going to sleep with a lady of the night, Clayton, I would advise you to be cautious.
I can't really be mad at her, though.
Was it wise to become so intimate with a woman you were supposed to interview, Clayton?
Maybe it was. But I have learned to...
You're right. I know little of your situation. What can you tell me about Christina?
She's very sensitive. So nostalgic about her country. I saw her cry once because she'd lost a precious souvenir.
What was it?
A scarf her brother gave her before she came to...
Why are you so concerned?
You see that we could make peace if I could find it.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't...
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I...
Do you think things will ever change?
I believe the situation can only improve.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye. Good evening, Christy.
Change your mind, Mr.
Goodbye, ma'am.
You again?
Good.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he?
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once at...
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet...
Goodbye for...
I should never have taken up.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
It's locked.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask...
I'm not bothered.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like...
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you,
Why? I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible...
So that's why you stay at home all day?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying?
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about
I
it?
don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightened.
But you are not responsible for your...
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Craig?
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Goodbye, young man.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable. Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side?
I'm nothing like you, Mr.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing...
I have to admit your words have conviction. If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your...
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitch.
So Dorothy's real name is not...
Like myself and many people in this area.
She seems important to the...
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the...
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical...
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was young.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr...
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could...
Who is she, really?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's...
You say she has no close...
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a...
Tell me everything you know about Camellia.
I do not...
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu?
Who knows?
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I've...
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my...
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does...
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country, and about the country...
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than...
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my...
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro...
It is not the country I fought for.
Tell me everything.
I do not...
Who is she? You say she...
Well...
Are you... Are you in...
Don't be...
Goodbye, Mr.
Can you hear my voice? I need help! He's going into convulsions, Doctor!
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. Yes. I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, Doctor. I have needle and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along? We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that...
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
This one stinks already.
He's done for! Filthy beast! There's safer places to be than here.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money. When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable.
You'll pay for that!
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Please show me what you...
Of course.
It's locked, all right.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of them. More determined.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle...
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of...
So who was it?
My lady. The blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current...
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the...
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our... hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this brother?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen.
I know this is beyond the pale, but...
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than...
A lady has to have some.
And who bestowed upon you this?
My maker. He left this isle alone.
Why did you save me?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire...
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires.
What type of vampire is this?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves...
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't...
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely...
Are there many vampires?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet...
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the...
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your...
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the...
Will they all be as affable as you?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson for...
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to declare...
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious?
They have seen better days, but all...
Sound like...
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it's...
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more.
How could this cause a...
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to... Hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the...
Excuse my forwardness, but...
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and...
A vampire? Is that...
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that...
Are you an...
Yes, I am. We are the closest...
So we are Ekons?
How to put it? All Ekon.
I don't understand. Why was I...
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you.
So me being a vampire?
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me.
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
I bid you farewell. For now. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient. Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye. Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before.
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses.
He was also very confident about your future.
What is the Pembroke Hospital?
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people.
What can you tell me about the staff?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about Cherish.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during...
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more...
Nurse Brannigan is worried.
She should not have told you that.
You don't have to blame her for her...
I'm not that kind of man, my dear John.
Goodbye.
Must prove what we actually are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working?
If it wasn't for him, I'd probably...
Dr. Tippett's does not think of you as just a nurse anymore.
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge...
Goodbye.
Sometimes you act like a real jerk, you know that?
Come on, Ozzy, don't be like that.
What, like what? Like someone who felt betrayed by the man he loves? Did you ever even try to find me? Rescue me?
No, it's not like that. I wanted to. I was so afraid to leave the hospital, not to be seen with you.
We survived this shit together. That's all that matters. I know you did your best. Fuck the wall, right? And fuck them all.
Fuck the wall. Fuck them all.
Good evening.
Evening, Doctor.
Tell me about your trip.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine.
Why should you be
I'm not, I said.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to
Courage is what we needed in the trenches. Looking dead.
Have you always been this?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again.
Goodbye. Hello again.
Good evening, Doc.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love.
I appreciate your kind words, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those...
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I will see you... Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. I cannot enter. Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what did...
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died.
You mean you actually saw a vampire?
Yes, and it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body.
No. You are deluded. You think you crave blood, but you have no physical need for it. You have no...
But what am I feeling? It cannot only be in my head.
Who are you, Rick?
Is that not enough?
I'm curious to know...
No, it was such a long time ago.
I'll leave you. Good evening,
I need...
Do you require my...
I have no need for your medicine, Doctor.
I'll leave...
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it. In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust. It's locked. Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to...
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning...
What made you choose to...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have...
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad...
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research.
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity.
True. Look.
Do you need help with anything?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the product.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness to
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood...
What is it you really want?
To set fair question. I want nothing but to save my...
This personal involvement could also...
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to
Do you think keeping his distance...
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Goodbye, Doc. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's...
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick, unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your...
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for...
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me, I'm an idiot.
Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair, while the world crumbles.
There's nothing more to say, really.
The world is bleak, but maybe the pain we feel is the best compass for making it a better place.
How can we repair the world, Dr. Reed, when mankind...
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
I have...
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening,
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime?
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significant?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his...
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me...
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his...
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better...
Why did your son feel...
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy fact.
What do you think he meant by making...
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again?
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future.
Your empathy is remarkable, but I fear that your son's decision to end his life has already been made.
How dare you talk to a mother like that?
I'm only trying to be honest, Mrs. Goswick. As painful as this fatal end may be for you, you have to accept...
No, I'll never accept it. If my son was to die under your care, well, you have no idea.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
what's in your heart.
My blood in the soul.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you?
I need blood, Doctor.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage.
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put...
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have...
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition. I'll leave you.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
That's reassuring. Believe me, it gives me courage.
It's locked.
Battlefield anymore. Things are different here. In so many ways. I am not responsible for everything bad that has happened.
Good evening.
Evening.
So many rats in the streets. Aren't I the lucky one?
Good evening.
Evening. sorry. We'll meet again soon, and we will be serene and beautiful.
Hello. Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take...
Good evening, Doc.
You and Oswald were buried alive during...
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength.
How did you...
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel.
Goodbye, Mr.
Over there! There's one in there!
This is an impressive knife.
There's a name engraved on the metal. Clay. What kind of man puts his name on a knife? Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Good evening, Doctor.
And good evening to you, Doctor.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your...
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches.
It's dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the...
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept you.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed.
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means.
Goodbye, I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
I will... not let you down, my boy.
The life running in your veins.
The flower's dying. It needs water. Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive? Or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think...
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project.
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive...
Really? That's fascinating.
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo...
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I will not let you down, my boy.
It's locked, all right. At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula. It's locked, all right.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.